commercial services.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Go Anteater podcast. My name is Russell Jenkins. I will be your host today, and today I have Travis Gates joining as a co-host for this episode. How are you doing, man?
All right, what's up?
Not much, just living the dream, waking up this morning, getting ready for work, and having a good day, so
far, so good, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it is only,
it's early. Yeah,
it's only 9 a.m., but, hey, gotta be optimistic, right?
Yeah, take the wins when you get them.
Exactly. So today we are getting together and we wanted to do an episode to kind of talk over another insect that we have. This one's not necessarily one that's common in our area. However, right? However, we do have some as pets here at ABC, so we wanted to take an episode to talk
They're
about...
not pets, they're educational aids.
Educational aids, my apologies.
Well, mine are. I mean, the other people who have them, those might be pets.
Yeah, I would say Emily has them as pets for sure. Yeah.
She spoils them.
Yeah, they eat her lunch too.
That's what I've heard.
But today, as we're getting to it, it's the hissing cockroach. So we're going to take an opportunity to kind of look and hear a few things about the hissing cockroach and, just have fun with them, man.
All right. I mean, the Madagascar hissing cockroach. A lot of people see them. They've been on TV, movies, things like that. Fear Factor. A lot of times when they had to eat a cockroach, it was always these huge, fat, hissing cockroaches.
Right.
Which is kind of sad because... they're not mean kids. They're pretty docile, not quick movers, so they do make decent pets. If you have a kid who's not really good at taking care of things on time, cockroach may be a good pet because you can forget about them for a couple months and they're probably still okay. So they're hardy, just like we think of any other cockroach. They are going to be omnivores, so they eat pretty much anything they can find. Most of their normal diet would be fruits and vegetable material. We think living on the forest floor, they're gathering up whatever rotten fruit and things like that, which is even funny because they don't even like fruit that's that rotten. They actually prefer fresh fruit. So they don't want the gross stuff. They want good stuff.
Okay.
So, if you actually have them as a pet and you try to give them old fruit, sometimes they won't eat it because it's just not good enough for them. So they can be a little bougie. But they will eat dry dog food and things like that. They will eat dead cockroaches. So if one of them dies, you will notice that sometimes pieces go missing. But that's how nature works. We're recycling. They are, pretty impressive. Compared to a lot of the other roaches that we have, our pest roaches specifically, they're going to be a large and in charge kind of critter.
Right.
So we're talking 2 to 3 inches long, and then some of them are going to be an inch, almost an inch and a half across for the big males. They'll live 3 to 5 years, which is a pretty good lifespan for a lot of things. So, I started my collection here with I think I had 6 that I ordered from a website that sells them as feeder insects. And, if you provide them with warmth, food, and water, you will quickly have more than that. It does take them about a year to go from hatching out of the egg to being fully, developed as adults. So there's a little period of ramp up before you start producing babies.
Right.
And if you keep them cool, they won't really reproduce. So those of you who do think about them as a pet, if you don't want to worry about having a bunch more, just keep them cooler.
Yeah.
Right? Don't put the heating pad on them. They will survive. They just won't breed. So that can help.
Yeah.
But no, mine are usually used to take to schools, educational events, and things like that. They're a really good model insect for people to interact with because they are slow movers. They don't bite or anything like that. They don't fly. So you could take them out of the container and let people touch them and hold them and things like that. Mine are just at the office right now because I'm not allowed to take them to my own house. So they didn't get to come home with me last night. But they really are kind of a cool tool, and you get a lot of good engagement with little kids in particular. Honestly, I'll tell you, little girls tend to be way more brave than the little boys are. So they're way more willing to try to touch them first.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. They're just, for some reason, a little more developed.
Yeah.
But, they're a good example for kids of what an insect feels like. You can touch the exoskeleton. You could feel that it's almost more like the texture of like a plastic bottle, more than anything else. I always ask them first. It's like, what do you think it's gonna feel like? And they always say slimy. They think everything's gonna be slimy, and then they touch it and they go, oh,
Yeah, right.
it's like, yeah, not so slimy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to see their reactions change as soon as they do make contact and go, oh, it's not that gross. It's not that bad. It does tickle. You have to warn that. So just like a lot of our other insects, they do have tarsal claws. The tarsal claws are going to be the little hooked claws on the ends of their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And those tarsal claws are what's going to kind of grip onto skin as they hold on to you and walk. It makes it really hard to take off clothing.
Right.
Because
right.
they hold on pretty good. But yeah, they're just a nice thing that doesn't move fast enough to scare the kids. You can generally hold them pretty steady. And then they always want to hear them hiss.
Yep.
So we hear them hissing cockroach, right? Mine have been handled a lot.
Yeah.
So mine are not big performers on the hissing right in person. Oftentimes I'll be sitting in my office and I'll actually hear a little rustling from behind me, and it's males that are fighting each other, and they'll hiss at each other as they push each other around. It's kind of like a sumo match that's leaking steam. Yeah. And they do make a very distinctive hiss. So the hiss is actually created because they will contract the muscles in their abdomen, which squeezes down on their body, which forces air out of the spiracles, which are the breathing holes that are along the side of the body. Which, again, they're a good example for, because it's really obvious where those little holes are along the side of the body. So when we discuss, breathing and insects with people, that's a good way to say, well, here's the openings to the breathing system. That goes into these trachea, which branch down to feed oxygen to basically all the organs and muscles that need it. So they're just, big, beautiful roaches.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, some people still don't like them.
Right.
Because they are cockroaches. As cockroaches, they do still give off a bit of a musty aroma. So, but, I mean, if they're in an enclosed container, the smell doesn't become overwhelming unless you've got other things going on.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, we give them, mine live in a little plastic container, one of those travel pet carriers. And they've got a substrate that is bioactive soil and coconut fiber. And I've got a little cork driftwood log for them to hang out in. They're perfectly happy.
Yeah.
They live together in a group. They'll fill up the inside of the little log and just hang out as a family. Big ones, little ones, everything in between. I guess one interesting thing about our hissing cockroaches is most of our cockroaches, when they lay eggs, they're actually going to lay their eggs in a capsule. So layers of eggs glued together to create kind of basically a little purse of eggs. Those egg cases can actually be very distinctive for roaches, so you can tell species apart. The hissing cockroaches don't actually produce an external egg case in the same capacity.
Right.
They basically will do a normal egg case, but keep it internal, and then allow the eggs to hatch internally, and then give live birth. So you get little live baby roaches coming out of mama instead of a weird egg case. So sometimes you'll see the egg case out in the container, and it's really just her kind of expelling it. So, but yeah, it's a weird thing to see, just a mother roach giving birth to live young, because it's not a normal occurrence in our cockroaches.
Right.
So yeah, they're a little weird,
Yeah.
but they tend to be a good teaching tool.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
What's your experience with hissing cockroaches, Russ?
Oh, I mean, heck, growing up, Dad for a while had some at our old office off of Stemmons here in Dallas, and I remember messing with them, playing with them all the time. They never bothered me. I know there was I always liked to have, where someone was new coming into ABC, you would have like hit the hissing cockroach on you, so that way you'd walk up and like pet it and it would hiss. And yeah, I always liked that disturbing factor. Most of the field staff, luckily, didn't shy away from it, as they shouldn't.
Yeah, hopefully.
But definitely some of our office staff, you could see where they haven't necessarily interacted with many in person, and so yeah.
They don't work here to deal with the public.
Yeah, exactly. So, that was always something that I mean, they've always been in my life. And then whenever you got some more here, that was, I liked that too, because I've always had memories with those. And
Well, if you want to take some home for the kids.
no, I'm okay. Yeah.
I mean, they have bread. I have more than my original 6 still. Actually, I have seeded the office. There's several people who have wanted some, so I will gift roaches to people when they ask for them.
There you go.
I know we have a few people in the office that have their own little tank of hissers that sit on the desk. So just something fun to move around. Easier than a fish tank.
Oh yeah, much.
And I mean, if you go on vacation for a month, they're fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about them. So I know during the pandemic, we weren't coming into the office, and my colony sat in the office for 6 months and didn't get food or water, and totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all there when I came back. So they just kind of will shut down and go into sleep mode and wait it out. So they were very thrilled once we did start supplying them with food and water again. Which, I mean, if we want to talk about food,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
eat, on the forest floor. We talked about the fruits and veggies and things like that. Honestly, it's kind of fun to try to feed them different things. They really like the tops of strawberries more than they like strawberries themselves.
Interesting.
They don't really like apple. They don't like anything that's more acidic. They've tended to shy away from acidic things. I know Emily fed hers broccoli one day, which don't feed things broccoli because everyone knows broccoli has a bit of an aroma.
Just slightly.
Yeah, roaches can pass gas. So you do get a little bit of funk that came out of that situation.
Oh yeah,
And
her
she
office
regretted
was
that
a little bit.
immediately.
Yeah, it was a little
Yeah.
different for a couple days.
But it was very kind of her to try to feed them. I know she has been a little more adventurous in feeding hers different things. She asked me the other day if they could eat, I think, beans from her lunch or something like that.
Yep.
It's like, they could try. So they will generally nibble on little of anything. I've given mine Jell-O before. They really like Jell-O. So, nice fruit flavors there. They munch right through it. Oat bran. They eat oat bran.
Okay.
Just dry.
Just dry.
Yeah,
Wow.
They don't need it mixed in anything. Just dry oat bran. So they're not really picky. They are a cockroach, right?
Right.
So it's interesting to see though that as a cockroach, which typically get a reputation for eating anything, any gross thing you could think of, they are a little more picky.
Yeah.
Which, again, makes them a decent pet because we don't have to worry about the gross environment. I know they're living in clean coconut fiber on a clean log in a clean container. And yeah, they poop and stuff, but that falls down in the coconut fiber. They don't roll around in it.
Right.
So, yeah, it stays relatively clean for a long time. And then you do a little maintenance every once in a while.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for anyone who wants them as pets, they're really easy to find on the internet. They're pretty cheap. But I would recommend go to a website that sells them as feeder insects rather than one that sells them as pets because you'll get them for a much better price.
Yeah, much
the
better.
Same exact roach for a much better price. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're fun.
Yeah.
And they've been very popular with schools. So the kids kids remember me year to year if I go back to the same school. You're the guy with the bugs. It's like, yep. And they still want to touch them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they don't hesitate once they've done it once.
For sure.
But yeah, we've done school events. We've done Kidzania. I've gone to a museum before. So yeah, we just kind of pop up wherever they need a little bug talk. We just had one of our employees asked for her kid's school. So probably going to another school soon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
So it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
A little insect education.
100%.
Not everything is a bad thing.
Right.
So we want to kind of be ambassadors to the insect world here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. I think that's got a lot of good information over the hissing cockroach today. Got some funny stuff from it too. So I want to thank you for your time and being a guest on the episode today, and honestly, co-host, because you really, we're gonna continually do these types of episodes. Because it's fun and different, and I think it's a good piece of education for everyone to learn a little bit more.
I'm here if you need me. If you have questions, send them in.
Please do. And
What's
then
the email?
which one? There's a couple.
Where should they send questions?
interact with us on social media, and that'll give you the easiest way to get to any of the teams. And please, if you have any questions of what they do, how they do it, anything like that, interact with it.
Not
Leave it in
about
the comment
roaches,
section.
anything. Just
Yeah.
random bug stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Questions about life.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. What kind of questions do you have? We're here for you.
Oh man. But yeah, no, please like, comment, subscribe. Please share this with other people. Interact in the comment section below with your questions, so that way we can answer some of the questions in the next episode and see how else we can continually to educate the world of the fact that there are beneficial insects, or insects that don't really land in both camps.
Not a lot of pest species out there.
Correct. So yeah, thank you again, Travis.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Awesome. Well, peace and cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
ABC Home and Commercial Services.